Reporter Catherine Norris Trent, who joins us from there. Catherine, the Israeli military, I mean, they're pulling out all the stops, aren't they, to try and justify this operation?
That's right. There have been several communications from the Israeli army this morning following an overnight raid on the Al-Shifa hospital complex in northern Gaza. Now, they said this was a sudden assault they'd launched after getting intelligence that Hamas militants were operating, had regrouped inside the hospital. That's what they claim. They have deployed tanks and special forces there. There's been heavy gunfire reported overnight and pictures of people in the darkness, it seems, trying to flee the area. On the Palestinian side, the health ministry says that they have sustained casualties, that there's a large fire burning at one of the entrances to the hospital. This is an ongoing situation, so we're still getting this information in, and of course impossible for us to independently corroborate. But what the Israeli army is saying is that they were coming under fire from inside the Al-Shifa area as they went in. They said they've made around 80 arrests, including of militants. And this is in an area, of course, in northern Gaza, where the situation is very dire. Now, the Israeli army said that they've left a passageway open for people to flee if they wish to. Of course, there are people receiving medical treatment inside and medical personnel. And they're calling on people in the area to evacuate to southern Gaza, to Rafah. But of course, crossing the Gaza Strip is very perilous, and even southern zones have been coming under bombardment.
Meanwhile, Catherine, is there any sign of light at all from peace talks?
Well, we have got some movement for the first time since the beginning of Ramadan. There is an Israeli delegation heading to Qatar, to Doha, this Monday to join in indirect talks. And this is on the back of Hamas ceasefire proposals, which Benjamin Netanyahu had said were absurd. But nonetheless, this delegation has got the OK from the Israeli Security Cabinet to head to Doha and engage in talks and see if they can come up with a proposal which would be acceptable to the Israeli side. And this could perhaps be a path to getting some of the hostages still held in Gaza release and getting a ceasefire for people in Gaza who desperately need it, and getting more humanitarian aid in. It's early days at the moment. The two sides are still far apart, but there is some significant movement for the first time. The Americans are very keen to get some kind of deal. Egypt's President Al-Shifa is said to be pushing hard. The Qataris have been negotiating. So Benjamin Netanyahu is under pressure. You know, there's been big public protests, of course, from hostages' families here. There could perhaps be some movement in the coming days or weeks.
Catherine, thanks very much. Catherine Norris Trent, our senior reporter, joining us there from Jerusalem.